Hi students, good morning to all of you and welcome to my channel. Students, today's topic is an interesting topic of kingdom Animalia, phylum Cadet, subphylum Vertebrate and class Amphibia. Amphi means both and bios means life. So these animals included in this class, they partly live on land and partly in water. That is why they are amphibians. And they are the first chordates that come out of water. Students, these are the first chordates that come out from water, and prior to it, the pieces are completely aquatic. So these are the first land chordates or first chordates that come out of water, and in Carboniferous period, regarded as the golden age of amphibians, as most of the amphibians they appears during this period. These are animals undergo hibernation or estivation. Students, hibernation means they tide over from extreme cold, and estivation is summer sleep. To tide over that hot summer, they undergo estivation, and hibernation is winter sleep and estivation is summer sleep. They are poikilothermic animal or cold-blooded vertebrates, as they cannot regulate their body temperature in spite of any change in the environmental temperature. We are able to regulate our body temperature. That is why we are homeothermic animal. But they are poikilothermic animal, and they have no control over their body temperature. So they cannot able to control their body temperature. Body is divisible into head, trunk, neck is absent, but tail is present in some forms of amphibians. Their skin is moist, smooth and scaleless. Scales are completely absent from their skin, and skin becomes smooth and moist, which help them for that cutaneous respiration, for exchange of that atmospheric oxygen through their moist skin. Mucous glands found in skin, which also help in cutaneous respiration. As mucous glands are present, so it becomes slippery and slimy. Two pairs of limbs are present. One is forelimb, one pair, and another pair that present on either or posterior end of trunk, that is hind limb. Forelimbs are smaller in comparison to that of a hind limb, and forelimbs contains 4 digits or fingers, whereas hind limb contains 5 digits or 5 fingers. Mouth larger in size, large size or bigger mouth is present at the anterior end of head. Upper or both the jaws have teeth. Either upper jaw contains teeth or both the jaws have teeth. But in some forms it is edentulous. Teeth are absent from them. Developed alimentary canal. The alimentary canal is well developed with digestive glands. But students, remember it, salivary gland is absent from their digestive tract. As they are completely carnivorous, as they depend upon that, they are also called as insectivorous, as they depend upon insects for their food, so they are carnivorous. So in case of carnivorous animals, as they do not take that carbohydrated food material, so there is no need of that salivary gland. As salivary gland secretes that enzyme salivary amylase, which is helpful for digestion of carbohydrate food material. That is why salivary glands are absent from the digestive system. But all other glands are present there in a digestive system. Alimentary canal, urinary bladder and genital duct open into a common passage, common opening, that is called as cloaca. Through that cloaca, gametes are also released out. Through that cloaca, the undigested fecal materials are also released out, and the urinary bladder is also open to that of same opening, that is cloaca. Heart is three-chambered. So students, in pieces we have already discussed about that two-chambered heart with one auricle and one ventricle. But in case of amphibians, it is having three-chambered heart where upper two auricles are present and lower one ventricle is present. The auricular part of the heart is separated in the form of left and right auricle by presence of interauricular septum. So auricular part is separated, left auricle and right auricle, and through the left auricle oxygenated blood enter into the heart, and through the right auricle the deoxygenated blood enter into the heart. Due to presence of that single ventricle, both oxygenated and deoxygenated blood get mixed there in that single ventricle and it is circulated within the body. And the oxygen requirement fulfilled by that exchange of atmospheric oxygen through their moist skin. That is why it is called as cutaneous respiration. Respiration by gills, lungs and buccopharyngeal cavity. The respiratory organ is in the form of gills, in some cases in larval forms, and lungs is also there, which act as a respiratory organ, and buccopharyngeal cavity, the buccal cavity, along with that pharynx. As you know, these are cold-blooded vertebrates and poikilothermic animals. I have already discussed about it. RBCs are biconvex, oval and nucleated. And the largest RBC found in case of amphibians. And the shape of that RBC are biconvex, oval and nucleated. There is a nucleus present. In circulation, renal portal system and hepatic portal system is present. As I have already discussed in class pieces, renal portal system is the system of that circulation where the intermediate organ is kidney, and in hepatic portal system the intermediate organ is liver. And remember once again, portal vein is such type of vein which starts with capillary and ends with capillary. So such type of blood vessels are called as portal blood vessels or portal veins. It starts with capillary and ends with capillary. Normally artery ends with capillary and vein starts with capillary, but it is a such type of blood vessel where the starting point or starts with that capillary and it ends in an organ with capillary network. So in case of amphibians, as kidney present at the middle part of the body, the mesonephric kidney is there, and they are ureotelic animal. But in case of larval forms, these are ammonotelic. So students, first of all, what is ureotelic? As per elimination of nitrogenous waste during excretion, animals are classified into different groups. As those animals eliminates the nitrogenous waste in the form of urea, they are called as ureotelic animal, and amphibians are ureotelic in adult. But in case of larval forms, they eliminate that nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia. That is why they are called as a monotelic animal. Tympanum present. There is no external ears are present in them, but there is a dark circular patch present on either side of the head, just below the eye. That is called as tympanum. So external ear and internal ear is absent, but the middle ear contains that single bone in it, that is called as columella auris, the single ear ossicle or the single ear bone, that is steps. Eyes have eyelid. Eyes provided with upper eyelid and lower eyelid. In case of aquatic forms, there is a third eyelid present, that is called as nictitating membrane. And cranial nerves are of 10 pairs. As I have already discussed about cranial nerves, those nerves arises from brain. They are called as cranial nerves, and here from the brain of amphibians 10 pairs of nerves arises. They are called as cranial nerves and innervate to their nearby organs. Sexes are separated. So sexual dimorphism is well established in the form of male and female. Students, male have that vocal sac which produces sound during breeding season and attracted to that of females. Fertilization is external, or in some cases it is internal. These are oviparous as they lay eggs in water. Egg laying animal, that is why they are oviparous, and development is indirect as larval forms are present in their life cycle, hence their development is indirect. And the common examples of this class are Buphomelanostictus, that is toad, Rana tigrina, that is frog, Ichthyophis, salamander. These are the examples of that amphibians. So students, once again remind you, all these characters described here, written here, are also available in my description box. So you can make a note of it for better remember. So in my next video, I will discuss about that next class of phylum cadet, that is Reptilia. Thanks.